Right, so this is finally done. Wait on this. And after bag 4, yep, everything's together. So we finished off, we turned it around. Basically, finished off this side and back here. And then, as far as the car is concerned, other than that, the last touches were basically finishing the police lights up on top. And that's about it. And then making the stand, as you can see here, that's how it works. Pretty straightforward. I didn't expect them to have this piece to hold onto the side, but I guess that's just some extra security there. But it just attaches into two spots on the bottom, actually, right inside there. But at least you can get a pretty decent look at the underside if needs be. And it's got the rolling wheels. And yeah, this looks pretty good. I think it wasn't that expensive either. I think it was like around $20 or so, more or less. I had to check. It was on AliExpress, but yeah, pretty satisfied with this. Definitely a lot larger than the old one. Let me pull that out if I can without knocking down anything else. Don't fall apart. Don't fall apart. Slip. And you can see the difference in scale. Much bigger. And so I don't know what the measurements are of this. This has got to be at least, looks like at least 12 inches across. You get opening doors, which I showed off earlier. And I think overall, you know, it definitely looks like what it's supposed to. As a point of reference, we'll just check out this. I should really take this out of here, but I'm waiting for my other one to come out. The K's spinner. And look at it. It looks pretty much in proportion. I mean, this bulbs out a bit more. It should be more like this, where it's round and it goes more, kind of more straight into the back piece, as you can see here. But you know, overall, this still carries most of the look of it. And I'd say the proportions at the front end, just the wheels, you know, those parts that protrude out in front of the main cockpit, or at least in front of the light, looks roughly about in proportion as where these are, like how far they are from here. Versus here, you can definitely see a bit more of a stretch forward. But yeah, I think both are pretty good. They are definitely different scale and maybe different purposes. This is definitely more for display. You're not gonna really get any kind of figure in there. Even the door's open, but actually, this one should be able to hold like a minifigure in here, just based on what I can see here. But I just don't feel like pulling it out and checking right now and fiddling with that. Maybe I'll look at that some other time when I decide to do that. I'll probably, again, in the last video, I think, or so, I think I mentioned that this should probably get a blue stripe, something navy. Hopefully I can find close to this that goes across here to simulate what's there. And if you look on the car, it does have those window frames up the side there. Yeah, but both of these are pretty good. They have working doors, and I think they definitely look the part. I just wish this had decals. And again, this should be. I should get rid of these yellow parts if I can replace them with dark blue ones. I have to take a closer look at that and see that how tricky that's going to be. And then I think that yellow is supposed to represent this yellow area, and that should be closer, almost. At least this side should almost be flush with the mirrors here, which they have. This one, miniature show mirrors. Oh yeah, I think this one. You see how it's boxed, kind of on the side and on top. These are a little bit more inboard this looks about closer to what that one is, the miniature that I have. Yeah, I'm gonna say something else, but I lost my train of thought. Excuse me. Yeah, can't complain. This was actually kind of fun. Like the tolerances of the pieces are okay. They're not up like to Lego standards, which are much more consistent feeling, and the pieces go together smoother, or it's just that little bit easier. These are, for the most part, they felt tighter. I had to really press them together to get them to hopefully close up any gaps. Um, yeah, this required a little more force. Oh, I think the parts are maybe ever so slightly, very, very tiny. Could be like inconsistent in some of their uh, builds or manufactured process. Because um, what was I gonna say? Yeah, just like if they were more consistent, I guess I can't point at anything specific at this point. But I'm sure if I look around, there are areas where like especially large flat areas where they're supposed to make one piece, like it's kind of hard to do that smoothly without it starting to look distorted. So yeah, but then because the inconsistency in the parts, maybe there's just some slight variation in the gaps around them, and maybe how they fit in relation to each other. But it's really not a major deal. It's not like it's like cobblestones or something that irregular and uh, yeah, that rough. Um, but it's just something to note. I think most of the areas they're kind of maybe showing some, you know, not a lack of smoothness from one piece to the other is probably in the doors, which wide and flat. I think having the sticker provided it's one whole like clear back piece that with these printed on them helps to kind of unify the surface a bit so that that doesn't stand out as much. Um, this would be pretty cool with a light kit, but I don't think I'm gonna go there. So anyways, yeah, I'm glad it came with a display stand because it's obviously meant for flight mode, but of course there's no pilots, but that's okay. You can just pretend whoever's in there, but it's just cool to see it in a somewhat dynamic pose. And so this should probably be up like this because, yeah, I guess if this is some indication of the replica of the real thing, like you see that part right there, it's actually facing up. It wasn't like angled diagonally and kind of facing outwards like that. So that's about it. And again, you can see the interior of this, and it's close enough on the inside, but of course not 100%. That's okay. Anyways, I don't really have much more to add other than I think for the price that this costs, it came relatively fast. I want to say I believe the seller may have been U.S. based for this. If not, they sure got it out from China relatively quick compared to some other stuff I had to wait a lot longer for. But yeah, into Blade Runner, which is one of cool build of a really pretty famous and popular. I don't know. It's not a space vehicle, but like a futuristic, flying vehicle. um, this review. Excuse me. Um, in fact, if you're a Back to the Future fan, I believe they used this as. I don't think it was the police cars. They had something else that these wheels that folded down. It's much more smoother and car shaped than even this. This is not exactly what I consider a car shape because of how the back wheels are hidden, and these are like the way that they are. But I believe it does make a brief cameo appearance in Back to the Future 2 one of the, I believe it's one of the earlier scenes. If not, maybe later. But anyways, it does show up. And so being the Back to the Future anniversary recently, and they just released the Speed Champions DeLorean Time Machine, which I plan to get. And they do have the Icons version. This was kind of nice against that because they are technically in the same. No, they're not really in the same universe, but you know, this was also, besides Blade Runner, it was in Back to the Future 2. And you have the Icons, the larger DeLorean Time Machine. That would be, that's what I'm saying. It would just kind of be appropriate to set it in a display or somewhere next to it, so that you know, there is some tie into to a common, I guess, theme or storyline. Yeah, I'm out of thoughts. It's late, and this took a little bit longer than expected. I would say, all in, I think each bags was almost at least 2 hours. At least for me. If I had more workspace and I could divide out all the colors and parts in advance in some way, that might have facilitated me searching around and also like trying to juggle what's on the table, which parts, and trying to add things to this while I'm doing it, and then taking it away when I need to clear, you know, get closer access to the parts were just on the table. But it is what it is, and I'm glad it's done just before I start the weekend. And now I just gotta figure out where the heck I'm gonna put this. What's the next project? I don't know. I might do. I might do maybe another Lego, but switching away from cars a bit, because this is kind of car related. Even though I did do some, like the one in the back there, and the Honda. Well, that one was done a little while ago. Well, almost finished at the same time. I'm still modding these things. I do have one here that I need to get to. Something like that. I might do the Normandy next. We'll see. I might take a break from the brakes and then alternate to maybe Transformers or something else that doesn't require me to build just yet. Just take a momentary break and then get re-energized to tackle a new Lego project or something like that. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching, and yeah, let me know what you think. I guess. Do you have this? Maybe might you plan to pick it up? I think it's kind of worth it for it's not that expensive. I'm pretty sure it was around 20 something dollars, or is it closer to 40? It wasn't that expensive considering what you get here. So yeah, that's it. If you need a link, I'll see if I can find one. Sometimes those ones like you bought from a store once, if you try to go again like later, sometimes they disappear and something always pops up in their place. But there's so many places that sell basically the same thing. It just depends on the seller whether you're going to get a good experience, because some could just really lag on fulfilling the order. Others are quick to just get them out, and you don't have to waste much time or wait that long. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Later.